Hi guys, welcome. So today we're going to be continuing the armor detail supply videos. I'm going to be testing out a product called Adapt. So Adapt is a waterless car wash. And this is not to be confused with a rinseless car wash. A waterless car wash is a product that is designed to be sprayed on your car and used with no water to clean your car. In my opinion, the best use case for something like this is, you're a guy who wants to go to a car show. You take your car, you clean it up, you get it all detailed, it's ready to go. Then you get in your car and you go to a car show, and on the way there, the car got a little dusty and you want to clean it up, for the show. So this is something that you can use with no water, with no hose, with no bucket, with no anything but a rag, and you can wash your car fully. So for me, I typically use a product like this for quick cleanups, things like if there's bird poop on your car, or if there's, a bug splatter, something like that that you want to clean up quickly before the paint etches. I generally won't use a waterless to clean my entire car. I'll usually use a rinseless for that, and a rinseless is a product that you mix into a bucket of water, and the rinseless would be used to wash your entire car with the help of a sponge and a couple gallons of water. Just because I like to have a little bit more fluid when I'm doing heavier cleaning. Now, Armor doesn't have a rinseless yet. From what I understand, they are coming out with one, but they do have a waterless. So reading the back in the application instructions, it says, spray directly onto your microfiber towel, gently wipe the surface. To ensure the best results, flip to a clean side of the towel or use a separate towel for final wipe. For heavier cleaning, liberally spray onto the surface and wipe to a perfect appearance. Remember to avoid allowing the product to dry on the surface, as this can lead to less than optimal results. Use Adapt on a clean surface away from direct sunlight. So what we're going to be doing today is I'm going to be cleaning a large portion of the car with Adapt, and we're going to see how it works because it's going to give me an opportunity to mess around with it. It does recommend that it could be used as a waterless wash, a quick detailer, a surface protectant, a glass cleaner, door jamb, and wheel detailer, as well as an interior detailer. So really they're saying this is a product that's kind of for everything. So let's start off simple. We've got the trunk of the car. You can see that there's a couple spots of dirt here. We had some rain this week. So we're going to spray just a small mist on the car. I'm going to spray on my towel as well. Now, I will say this product smells really, really good. It's impressive how good it smells. We're going to take this and we're going to kind of wipe while rolling the towel. I always want to do that with a rinseless or waterless wash. Because it allows, you'll see that you get these lines of dirt. You don't want to be taking that line of dirt and pushing it into the paint and marring the paint. Instead, you want to roll it up into the towel, and that's going to enable your towel to not scratch your paint as you're going. So I did that one section. Maybe we'll get this other section here. The center of the towel still looks pretty clean, and we'll just clean it up like that. So now we can see we've got a little bit of dirt here, but not a whole lot. We'll flip the towel over to another side, and we will just buff off any of the excess. All right, so on this first pass, it did a pretty good job. I'll pull out my light here and just look for scratches. It looks pretty good. This car is pretty clean to begin with, and just because we found a scratch doesn't mean it's from this product. But you would worry generally about using such a little amount of water and having it scratch your car up. So as you can see, we did a pretty good job on this section here. There is a lot of slickness to it, a lot of gloss, which I do like. I generally like my cars to be slick. So next we're going to try on this section of window here. So same thing, we're going to start off with, we'll say side number 2, which is the second side that I used to clean this up. And we'll go over the glass like this. I'm not as concerned with scratching the glass as I am with scratching the body, because glass is generally pretty hard. Now we'll flip this over because we've used both sides, and we'll use another quarter of the towel. And really, when you're doing this type of work, you shouldn't think of this as one towel. You should think of it as 8 towels. It's 8 quarters. So we'll take these, put them here. We're just going to kind of work our way across the car, spray onto the towel again. We could probably be letting this dwell a little bit longer. This section of the car isn't very dirty. So here we've got number 4, like that. And now that we've gone through 1, 2, 3, 4, we can flip our towel over and we can use the other side of it. So let's look at the glass. It does a pretty good job on the glass. I've got a couple streaks here, so we'll just buff that a little bit. Like it says, don't let it dry on the glass, or don't let it dry on anything. I think that it did a pretty good job. There is a little bit of haziness if you don't buff it all off, but it comes off and it leaves some slickness. There's definitely some protection in it, so that's to be expected. Anything that contains ceramic is typically going to require you to buff it off completely in order to not leave anything behind. I'll grab this mirror here. Now we've done this whole passenger side of the car. I did half of the deck lid, I did half of the window, half of the roof, and I did the A pillar and B pillar and down that side window. Let's look at the trunk. So the trunk here actually has pretty heavy dirt. I think you could see it here on camera pretty well. So we've got a lot of spotting, a lot of pooling here of water. This is just from the effect that the car has in the wind and the water that kind of rolls up behind it. That'll land here, and then this dries on the back of the car and you end up with all of this dirt here. So let's apply liberally, like they say. And I'm just going to try to get this whole section. And I'm not trying to apply enough that it's like running down the car. I'm getting a little bit of that, but not a ton. Just enough that there is sufficient wetness on everything. So we'll kind of go and roll the rag as we're going across this surface. And you could see that rolling effect and the bar of brown that you kind of get that's spread out like this instead of just one line. We'll go over it with the next section just to kind of dry that off. And then we'll go down here and down here like that. And I still have a section of the rag that I didn't use, so we'll kind of roll through this here. And again, you could see all of that dirt that we're picking up. License plate. Got a little bit of fiber underneath that. And then we're going to go through and we're going to get these lights. And then we'll do the bumper. So I do find using the product to be a pleasant experience. Like I've talked about before, their sprayers are pretty good. They work very well. They're similar to the ones that come on the Marilex bottles. So I've actually been using a couple of them for years. The smell of the product is really good, so I enjoy that. Anytime that you're using something and you have a good scent that's pleasant, I would say that products don't necessarily need to have a pleasant scent, more so than they just need to not have a not pleasant scent, if that makes sense. Like, I don't like using iron removers because they tend to smell bad. So now, this is the type of thing that I think this really makes sense for, is a door jamb or a trunk jamb, something like that. So this stuff that's here on this area. So we'll put a little bit in there and we will just, again, kind of roll the rag through our hand and clean that up. Jams are something that when you're washing the car, it's not always easy to get them. Sometimes they get forgot about. Oftentimes they're dirty. So having a product where you don't have to worry about getting your interior wet just to wash it is really nice. And like I said, this can be used as an interior product. So I've gone over this. We're gonna take our light again. I'm just looking for, are there any heavy scratches or anything like that? Because this car is pretty clean. The entire thing's been polished, it's ceramic coated. You know, it's in pretty good shape. And I don't see anything. Like I said, I see some tiny minor things here and there that were likely here before I started doing this process, but you know, nothing heavy from wiping off all this dirt and everything that was on the back of the car. Let's see how it does on a piece of plastic trim. I have one of those down here, so I'm just gonna spray it on the rag. We're just gonna go all the way across. So it doesn't leave your trim glossy, but it does keep it clean. So that's what came off of the black plastic trim on the bottom. So that'd be similar to like something on, you know, my Mini or the Honda outside, the stuff that's around the wheel wells. So when I did that first half, I left some haziness here that I didn't quite clean up 100%, but just applying it over the top of itself, I was able to wipe that haziness off. This haziness here, as long as you don't let it dry in the sun, you can just apply a little bit more over the top of it, and that'll allow you to buff off. So I just did the whole exterior of the car with this. It took me about 20 minutes. So here are some key things. Number one, less is more. Do not apply too much of the product, or you're going to end up having to flip the rag a lot to buff everything off. Because it contains some ceramics, it can be a little streaky if you put too much product on. Number two, I think that you want to be careful of overspray. So they tell you on the bottle to spray it on the rag, and I think the reason that they're doing that is because if you spray it on the car and you get it on the car, then you end up with spots where it dried if you don't buff it off. So a good example would be like on the back here, I did this whole deck lid, then I sprayed the back here and I got a little bit that just left some dots right here. Now, if you get that and you do it in a place where it's cool and you're not in the sunlight, you can just spray over the top of it and you can wipe it off. It is forgiving like that. But I would imagine that if I was in the sunlight and it dried, it might get a little bit hard to remove. I'm not sure because I'm not out in the sun and I didn't let it dry. They tell you that on the bottle, don't let it dry, so I just didn't. I'm down about 1/4 of a bottle, and I played with this a little bit before the video. So reasonably a bottle would get you through, you know, 4 cars like this, something along those lines. But I don't think that that's a reasonable use for it. I really think that it's more for attacking certain things, getting door jams, getting bird droppings, getting, you know, small accidents that might happen in between washing. I don't think that this is a replacement for a car wash. It is something that you could use, like I said, at a car show, or just to, you know, maybe you're working on the car and you're going to be leaning over a section of it for a while and you just want to wipe it off so that you don't accidentally get a bunch of dust or something like that in the car. This is a really good option for that. On windows, I think that it does a great job. You can see here, you know, you just do a simple wipe, a back and forth, and it cleans up nicely. You do have to flip the rag and make sure that you buff it off, just like most glass cleaners would. For things that are a little bit heavier, bug splatters, dried dirt, bird droppings, those types of things, I think that you want to put a little spray on it and let it dwell for a couple seconds before you go to wipe it off. I did find that it was pretty good at removing bug splatters from the windshield. It did a great job at that. And as far as the scent goes, I personally find the scent pleasant, but it is strong. So if you didn't like the scent, or if you are maybe sensitive to smells, it might not be the best product for you because it does have a great scent. It is fairly strong and you can smell it pretty easily. I wanted to test the interior properties of this. So I'm going to do a door panel just because I can light it up really well and I can kind of show you guys what it looks like. You can see that there's like some probably sunscreen right here, and there's some like lighter spots here. So we're going to give it a little squirt, and we're going to put a little on the rag, and we're going to see how it does. You can see that it's going on wet, but it appears to be drying in a more matte finish. Just buff this off nicely, flip the rag over, hit it again. Now, again, this isn't a dedicated interior cleaner. They actually make a dedicated interior cleaner. It's called Pilot, and I just ordered it. I don't think that this is like your dedicated interior cleaner that you use every single week to clean your interior. But again, I think this is like this is the bottle that you keep in your car. And if you get to work and there's something that's a mess, or you know, you've got like a drop of coffee in your cup holder, or a little bit of soda, or you know, something like that, kid makes a mess, something like that, and you need to clean something up, this is like the one bottle that you would stick in your car with a couple of these rags. These are the ones. This is a rag company, it's called a Pluffle. And that allows you to just kind of do anything that you need to do. And if you end up throwing away a rag, you end up throwing away a rag. But you could see it does a really good job. Even on this window, the window looks great. So I got the outside of it when I went around the first time, do the inside of it here, but it cleans up really, really nicely. I don't think that you want to use this on leather. I don't think it's unsafe, but in general, you don't want to put ceramic coatings on leather, because leather is like a living, well, not living, but it's a skin, it's an animal product, and I think that it needs to breathe in order to maintain its flexibility. I know there are some companies that make specific coatings for leather, and maybe there's some truth to that. I haven't tested any of them long term to really know for sure, but I don't think that you want to block up the pores in leather. I think more so you want to allow that to breathe. But I think that this is a great product that you could use like to wipe off a steering wheel, even one that is leather, and get a clean surface. And again, they have a product called Pilot, which is an interior cleaner, and we're going to be testing that out as soon as the bottle arrives. It was released on Wednesday. I ordered it Wednesday, and it's supposed to be here next Monday. So I'll get to test that out probably next week. But in my opinion, one of the best uses of this product is right here. You see this door jamb, this sill plate here. I've got some dirt on the sill. So this is a spot where, you know, I don't want to just like spray my pressure washer in here. So you spray something like this, you go down this sill plate with your rag, flip it over and buff it off. It doesn't have to be perfect because it is a door jamb, but it allows you to clean up the heavy, to get these scuff guards, to get these plastic pieces. It's one product on your rag. You can get these jams and all the way up and around this rubber gasket. And you know, it does a good job. You can see that I got a bunch of crap on my rags. So in conclusion, is this the only bottle that you ever need on your shelf? No. I think that it can replace just about any other product in a pinch. It can be a quick detailer. It can be a way to wash your car. It can be a way to get bugs off of your windshield. It can be a way to clean glass. It can be a way to clean interior. I think that you're going to be better served with a dedicated interior cleaner for your interior. I think you're going to be better served with a rinseless car wash to wash your entire car with no water. But there is definitely a place for this. And this is the kind of product, like I said, that I would keep in my car. Up until now, I've kept DIY Details waterless car wash in my car. When that bottle's gone, I'm probably gonna swap it out with this and just use it, you know, when I get to work, if there's something on my car, if I'm loading something in the back of it and I notice that there's, you know, a mark, a this, a that, you know, like I said, bird poop, small things that you wanna take care of. throw this in my car with maybe 2 or 3 of these pluffles and be able to take care of just about any mess that's going to come my way temporarily until I can get home and deal with it permanently. I think it's a great product. It smells great. It's another, you know, great packaging. And so if you're interested in Armor, this is one of the products that I'd recommend that you pick up. Like I said before, my 2 favorites so far are the wheel cleaner and the tire cleaner. I think those are top tier products. I think this is really similar and in the same league as the waterless car wash that DIY Detail has. I like the scent of this a little bit better. That tips the scales for me towards Armor. But I think they're both excellent products and you'd be well served with either one of them. So thank you for watching and have a great day.